The gods sent the goddess Restarte to rescue a world threatened by the demon lord, but Restarte panics because the world the gods gave her this time has an S-class difficulty, and the mission of the gods is to summon heroes from the earth to save the worlds threatened by the demon lord. Restarte flips through the hero documents to choose the right hero for this daunting task. She eventually finds information about a hero named Seiya with high skill stats, so Restarte quickly summons him to the divine realm. Upon seeing Seiya's appearance, Restarte is immediately captivated by his handsome looks. After that, Restarte quickly regains her composure and explains to Seiya about everything. After being instructed by Restarte, Seiya successfully opens his status menu, and Restarte opens the portal to send Seiya to save the S-class world from the threat of the Demon Lord. However, Seiya wants to train for a while before going to save the world, and Restarte is shocked to find that Seiya is suffering from an excessively careful illness. Restarte prepares Seiya with some rice balls to ease his hunger after training, but Seiya suspects that the rice balls contain poison, so she has to try one first. Restarte then gives Seiya a bell to announce when he will be ready, but he thinks the bell is a ticking time bomb. 4 days later, Restarte is elated when the bell rings. When she steps inside, she is mesmerized by Seiya's solid body, making her nose bleed. Restarte is surprised to learn that Seiya has reached level 15 just by doing push-ups. She quickly opens the portal to send Seiya to the S-class world. They teleport to the rookies' starting town. Upon seeing the villagers, Seiya thinks they are monsters disguised as humans. Restarte takes him to a weapon shop to buy him some equipment, and he demands 3 sets of armor just in case the armor gets damaged. However, Seiya feels that it is still not enough, so he buys 30 more smoke bombs and 50 medicinal herbs. After they are out of town, they immediately encounter a slime. Even though the slime is a low-level monster, Seiya still uses his full strength to defeat it. Even when the slime is destroyed, he keeps using his strongest skills on it to make sure it is really dead. Just then, one of the 4 heavenly kings of the Demon Lord's forces, Machina, suddenly appears. She has foreseen the arrival of heroes, so she comes here to kill them. As soon as Seiya sees Machina, he hurriedly runs away, leaving the goddess behind. Seiya throws smoke bombs at Machina to block her pursuit. He tells Restarte to open the portal to escape. When they return to the Divine World, Seiya says that he needs more training to defeat Machina. 2 days later, Restarte still hasn't heard back from Seiya, and she sees Machina attacking the town they went to before. If they don't show up, every 10 minutes she will kill a villager. Restarte goes to Seiya and urges him to save the villagers, but he refuses because he hasn't finished his training yet. Seeing Seiya's delay makes Restarte angry, and she calls Seiya a coward. But Seiya says that if he dies, not only that town will be destroyed, but the whole world will be ruled by the Demon Lord. Right after that, Seiya puts on his armor and gets ready to go to Machina's place. Restarte is amazed to see how quickly he leveled up in such a short time. At this time, Machina is about to kill all the villagers, and luckily Seiya appears in time to rescue them with the Ear Blade skill. Machina is also surprised to see Seiya's new strength after training, so she decides to use all of her strength to fight him. She uses the power of darkness to transform into a giant bull. Machina immediately rushes to attack Seiya and creates an extremely terrible explosion. But unexpectedly, her punch is blocked by Seiya so easily. It turns out that Seiya has unlocked a new skill that allows him to generate fake stat information. At his current level, his strength could be 10 times stronger than Machina's. Machina flies into the sky and creates an orb of energy to destroy the whole town. But Seiya has also unlocked a flying skill, so he jumps up to stop her. He uses the Phoenix Drive skill he has just learned to cut Machina into pieces. After Seiya wins, Restarte rushes to hug him and he repeatedly sniffs his body. Even though Machina was dead, Seiya still wants to destroy every single cell of her, so he uses powerful spells to attack Machina's ashes. Restarte thinks that Seiya is ready to go to the next town, but unexpectedly he wants to return to the Divine World to continue training. Restarte goes to Ariadoa to complain about Seiya's constant training. She wants to complete this mission as soon as possible so that she can become a great goddess like Ariadoa. While they are talking, Seiya suddenly bursts in. Goddess Ariadoa can't hide her surprise as soon as she sees him. Seiya says that even if he tries to continue doing push-ups, he won't be able to increase his level anymore, and he doesn't want to go kill monsters because it is too risky. So Ariadoa suggests that he train with the gods in the divine realm. Soon after, Ariadoa takes him to meet the divine blade Cerseus for training. Cerseus says that his training is harsh, but Seiya doesn't have any worries and urges him to avoid wasting time. On the first day, Cerseus informs that Seiya is a talented person, but it will take a long time to become as strong as him. But by the second day, Cerseus is beginning to feel anxious about Seiya's progress. On the third day, Cerseus starts to get tense because he is no match for Seiya right now. And on the fourth day, Restarte suddenly sees Cerseus hiding on the beach because Seiya makes him train frantically, even though Seiya was 3 times stronger than Cerseus. When Cerseus sees Seiya coming, he panics and throws his sword into the sea, and he swears that he will never touch the sword again. Goddess Ishtar says that the next town they are going to is in danger, so she wants Restarte and Seiya to go there quickly, and she also sent 2 people to support them. Soon after, Restarte panics when she sees Seiya punching Cerseus repeatedly in the face, and he is ready to go to the next town because he can't learn anything more from Cerseus. When they reach the town, they see that the villagers are running away because the town is about to be attacked by an army of demon lords undeads. So Seiya wants to buy holy water that will purify them. And he wants to buy up to 1,000 bottles of holy water, startling Restarte. Following Ishtar's instructions, they go to the church to meet Ilulu and Mash, half-dragons sent by Goddess Ishtar to support Seiya. Seiya pours holy water over the priest's head to check if he really is a human. Unbelievably, this priest turns into the form of an undead before everyone's panic. Before this undead can do anything, Seiya cut him into pieces. However, Seiya still cleans up this undead's corpse with destructive spells, leaving the whole church in ruins. Seiya continues to pour holy water on everyone to check if they are undeads or not. Then he suddenly says that he doesn't need weaklings like Elulu and Mash to accompany him. Mash gets angry at being looked down on by Seiya. The guards inform that an army of undeads numbering about 10,000 is about to attack this town. When they learn that Seiya is a hero, they kneel down to beg him to save the town. Seiya says that he will go destroy that army of undeads without anyone's help, but Restarte immediately chases after him because she doesn't want to be a useless person. However, no matter how hard she tries, she can't keep up with Seiya's speed. Seeing that Restarte is flying too slowly, Seiya returns to pull Restarte away, causing her wings to lose all of their feathers. Upon seeing the undead army, Seiya decides to destroy them with a powerful spell, and Restarte is surprised to see Seiya summon a giant meteorite. It crashes straight into the ground, causing all undeads to evaporate instantly. A few days later, Seiya successfully forges a sword using the fusion skill. Restarte is shocked to learn that Seiya used her hair to forge that sword. Right after that, a mysterious person sends a mirror to Seiya, and they panic when they see Mash tied up. It turns out that one of the 4 heavenly kings named Def Magla captured Mash to avenge his undead army. Everyone at this time can only see Mash through the mirror, cannot go there to rescue Mash. Seiya now uses a slash through space to take away one of Def Magla's arms. While Def Magla is panicking, Seiya asks Restarte to bring him back to the divine realm. He asks Goddess Ishtar to take him to Def Magla's lair to rescue Mash. As soon as he reaches Def Magla's place, Seiya shoots Def Magla in the face with a giant fireball. Def Magla is still unharmed thanks to the protective barrier that was resistant to fire magic. Def Magla summons a high-level fire-type demon that causes everyone to panic. Because Seiya's attribute is also fire-type, he can't defeat the demon. However, Seiya still charges at the demon with a powerful shockwave, and he suddenly releases a fist that causes Def Magla's demon to freeze. It turns out that Seiya creates a magic bracelet that allows its wearer to use the ice attribute. He even creates a lot of magic bracelets with different attributes such as thunder, earth, water, etc. Soon after, Seiya destroys Def Magla's demon with a single slash, and he continues to cast powerful spells to destroy Def Magla. After returning to the inn to rest, Mash admires Seiya's true strength. Seiya decides to let these 2 weak kids be the ones to carry his luggage, making them very happy. Restarte wants everyone to go to the next town, but Seiya wants to go back to the divine world to continue training. This time, he wants to find a god to train with him and both Elulu and Mash. Restarte is shocked to see Cerseus practicing making cakes, and he decides to give up the path of a swordsman after being beaten up by Seiya. Cerseus hears Seiya mentioning training, causing him to panic, but this time Seiya wants him to train Mash. When Cerseus learns that Mash is weaker than him, he happily agrees to train Mash. They continue to ask the goddess Hestiaca to teach Elulu magic, and Seiya is brought to see the goddess of war, Andanella, for a technique known as Eternal Sword. Her appearance always looks very scary, unlike an ordinary god. However, after just one day, Adanella changes completely and becomes an extremely cute girl because Adanella doesn't want Seiya to see a frump in her clothes. A few days later, everyone finishes their training in the divine world. They are about to go to the next town when Adanella suddenly wants to go with Seiya. She even spent 5 hours making him a cake. However, Seiya coldly refuses and says that her cake looks disgusting. When Adanella is criticized by Seiya, she becomes angry and attacks everyone around her. But Seiya doesn't care and urges everyone to go to the next town. Elulu and Mash want to fight to test their own skills after training, but Seiya summons a fire phoenix that can automatically destroy all enemies because he thinks it's safer to let the summoned beast fight instead of him. Right after that, following Mark's instructions, everyone goes to a cave leading to the Dragon Village, and the Dragon Village is holding a holy sword capable of destroying the Demon Lord. Seiya uses the Eternal Sword to destroy the door of the Dragon Village. Once inside, they are taken to meet the Great Mother of Dragons, Levia. Levia realizes that Mash and Elulu are also dragons, so she uses her powers to unlock Mash's ability to transform into a dragon. But everyone panics when they learn that Elulu will have to sacrifice herself to transform into a holy sword. Levia reveals that Elulu is a holy sword reincarnated as a dragon, and the Demon Lord now successfully occupied 70% of the world, so Levia wants Elulu to quickly become the holy sword to defeat the Demon Lord. Elulu and the others are very upset when they learn that Elulu is going to die. That night, the dragons hold a feast in preparation for the ritual sacrifice. Elulu is brought to stand in front of an abyss. She has to jump below to complete the ritual. If she dies, her body will transform into a holy sword for Seiya. Seeing Elulu being forced to jump into the abyss, Seiya steps up to defeat the guards to rescue Elulu. He says he doesn't want his luggage carrier to turn into a holy sword, but the queen still wants Elulu to die to save the world. When Mash and Restarte want to save Elulu, they suddenly fall down. It turned out that the queen had put poison in their food before, but everyone is surprised to see that Seiya is unharmed. It turns out that due to Seiya's cautious personality, he hadn't eaten anything since the party started. He only eats food made by Restarte. Soon after, the queen transforms into a dragon to attack Seiya along with Elulu, and normal weapons are unable to pierce her dragon scales. But Seiya has prepared a dragon-slaying sword because he has predicted this will happen. Seiya wounds the queen with a single slash, but before the ritual could begin, the queen gave Elulu a magic necklace. It will squeeze Elulu's neck until she dies. To remove the magic of that necklace, Seiya will have to destroy the queen. She uses her absolute defensive skills against Seiya's attacks. Even Seiya's eternal sword can't penetrate her scales. However, the queen is alarmed because she is about to be pushed into the abyss by Seiya, so she transforms back into her previous form to attack him with the dragon's flames. But Seiya unleashes two cross-shaped slashes that send her falling into the abyss. Elulu is finally free from the magic necklace after the queen was defeated, and the queen's body has turned into a very powerful looking sword, so Seiya says that it is the holy sword. However, when they leave the dragon village, Restarte speaks to Seiya privately, admitting that she knows the sword is not the holy sword. Turns out Seiya fools everyone just because he doesn't want Elulu to sacrifice her life. Right after that, a group of human soldiers is waiting for Seiya's team here, and their fortress, led by the female general Rosalie, is being attacked by the Demon Lord's army. So they immediately go to the hero Seiya for help. Seiya and the others quickly fly to the battlefield to scout the enemy, and their enemy is a huge army of flies led by a fly general called Beelzebub. But they are surprised to learn that Beelzebub has an extremely high movement speed. Nearby, Rosalie's army is attacking the flies with bows and arrows, but the flies easily dodge and rush to catch all of Rosalie's soldiers into the sky, where they let them fall freely to the ground. However, Beelzebub retreats because his goal is to lure Seiya here. Rosalie's army suffered heavy losses after the battle just now. As soon as she sees Seiya's party, Rosalie is overjoyed and she invites them to the fortress to discuss the strategy of killing the fly army. Along the way, they learn that Rosalie's father is the king of this kingdom and that he has the same strength as a hero like Seiya. but for some reason he can't fight the Demon Lord. Having just entered the meeting, Seiya is worried that the enemy is eavesdropping, but after searching the entire castle, they didn't find any flies. Rosalie has asked Seiya to attack the fly army's lair without any strategy, but Seiya wants to go back to the Divine Realm to be trained and then return to kill the flies. Seiya believes that it is Rosalie's weak leadership that caused so many soldiers to die in vain. Upon hearing that, Rosalie becomes angry and is about to slap him, but Seiya is quicker than Rosalie and slaps her in the face. She gets angry and growls like a dog after receiving several slaps from Seiya. Even now, she wants to kill Seiya and doesn't care that he is a hero. So Restarte is forced to bring Seiya back to the Divine Realm to avoid everything becoming more troublesome. Seiya asks her to take him to the Gun God or the Cannon God so he can kill the flies. But in the Divine Realm, there are only bows and arrows, no gods like he just asked. Restarte asks a goddess named Midas, goddess of archery, to teach Seiya her archery skills. And with only one instruction, Seiya is able to create a firebow. Restarte takes Elulu and Mash to Ariadoa to ask her to train them. Ariadoa tells Restarte that Adanella has gone insane after being rejected by Seiya for her affections. Soon after, Restarte goes into the forest to see Seiya's training, and Adanella is secretly following behind and finds Seiya. She wants to kill Seiya in revenge because he rejected her affections in front of the crowd. But as soon as Seiya pats her head, she quickly forgets everything he's done. After training with Ariadoa, Mash is able to transform part of his body into a dragon's body, and Elulu learns the ability to accelerate or decelerate her chosen object. She can use this ability to increase Seiya's combat speed. Having completed their training, they quickly return to Rosalie's fortress and they discover that Rosalie has entered the fly's lair alone. Seiya plans to secretly shoot down Beelzebub from a long distance, but a soldier suddenly speaks so loudly that the flies discover their location and quickly rushes to attack them. At this time, Rosalie is also challenging Beelzebub, and she is carried into the sky by Beelzebub as he prepares to set her free. Seeing that the hero and goddess are here, Beelzebub pulls Rosalie to a higher position and intends to throw her down at lightning speed so that Restarte cannot catch her. However, before Beelzebub can throw Rosalie, Seiya shoots an arrow, causing Beelzebub to let go of his hand. Restarte takes this opportunity to catch Rosalie. Beelzebub knows that Seiya is hiding in the clouds, and Seiya continues to shoot a series of arrows toward Beelzebub, but he still easily dodges him. As soon as he sees Seiya, Beelzebub rushes to attack him at a very fast speed, but suddenly magic birds appear and pierce his stomach from behind. It turns out that Seiya had guessed that he might miss, so he learned the ability to turn arrows into birds to attack the target. Despite defeating Beelzebub, Rosalie still considers Seiya's fighting style to be cowardly, and Seiya says that he doesn't care about the barking dogs. Elulu and Mash want to kill the small flies to show off their newfound power, but Seiya shoots arrows like a machine gun, causing the flies to be instantly killed. Rosalie then tells everyone that there is a divine armor stored in a village of dwarves and that in order to defeat the Demon Lord, Seiya will have to obtain it. However, when they arrive, they find the dwarves' village completely destroyed and one of the 4 heavenly kings attacking the village. He summons a monster and has it destroy the divine armor because he believes that without the divine armor, Seiya won't be able to defeat the Demon Lord. Soon after, he kills himself to summon a god of death, and when looking at the god of death, they can't read his strength stats. Seiya tries to injure the death god, but he quickly recovers, so he tells Restarte to open the portal to send everyone back to the Divine Realm. They think they are safe, but the death god follows them into the Divine Realm. The gods immediately appear to fight him, but they are all easily defeated. Seiya's group has no choice but to run away from the death god's pursuit. And on the way, Seiya asks some gods to stop the death god, but all of them are defeated. When they run to the top of the tower, they encounter a god of destruction named Valkyrie, who is painting, and the death god accidentally shoots Valkyrie's painting while attacking Seiya, making her mad. Then she rushes to punch the death god. Valkyrie realizes that all normal attacks have no effect on the death god, so she uses an ultimate skill called the Gate of Valhalla to defeat the death god. And after being locked in the gate, the death god is destroyed by the thorns that pierce his body. After using the skill Gate of Valhalla, the user will have to trade their lives, but the gods are inherently immortal, so Valkyrie's life will not be affected. Seiya asks Valkyrie to teach him the Gate of Valhalla skill to defeat the Demon Lord, but everyone worries that Seiya will die if he uses that skill. But seeing Seiya's determination, Valkyrie agrees to teach him. While Seiya is training at Valkyrie's place, Elulu and Mash go to Ariadoa, and she helps Mash transform into a full dragon. Having completed their training, they return to Rosalie's father's kingdom immediately, and one of the last 4 heavenly kings is attacking the capital. However, Rosalie's father, as well as the king of this kingdom, defeats him easily, and with one slash, he succeeds in wiping out the entire Demon Lord army. Everyone wonders why someone as strong as Rosalie's father won't go to defeat the Demon Lord, but they are shocked to see him transform into a baby. It turns out that every time he uses too much magic, his body will shrink, so he can't leave the capital to subjugate the Demon Lord. Rosalie tells everyone that her father once went to subjugate the Demon Lord and was cursed by the Demon Lord, causing himself to be transformed into a baby. Soon after, everyone goes to Rosalie's father to discuss a plan to subjugate the Demon Lord. The 4 heavenly kings are destroyed, so Seiya decides to attack the Demon Lord's lair. While they are talking, they suddenly receive news that the Demon King's army is continuing to attack the capital. So Seiya and the 2 kids have to go out to fight them while the king takes Restarte on a tour of the temple. The king says that every time the gods or heroes die, the gods will be resurrected in the divine realm, and heroes like Seiya will be sent back to their old world. But the Demon Lord succeeded in creating a god-slaying sword capable of preventing their resurrection. After defeating the Demon Lord before, the king completely surrendered to the Demon Lord, and he uses the God-Slayer's sword to create magic chains to manage Restarte. But as soon as he is about to finish her, luckily Seiya shows up in time to save her. It turns out that Seiya had guessed that the king might have submitted to the Demon Lord after his defeat, so he and the others quickly return here to rescue Restarte. Soon after, the king takes a pill given by the Demon Lord to become younger. And after gaining new powers, the king is completely able to fight on par with a hero. Seiya removes all unnecessary items to increase his speed, but the king is still able to keep up with his attack speed. Seiya and the king decide to use a final blow to end the battle, and Seiya successfully stabs the king in the chest and defeats him. After being defeated, the king turns back into an old man like before, and Rosalie doesn't want to accept a father who sold his soul to the Demon Lord. But Seiya slaps Rosalie in the face and forces her to talk to her father one last time. Rosalie does as Seiya said and hugs her father until he passes away. And all the citizens in the kingdom hold a funeral for the king. A few days later, Seiya suggests that everyone go out together around the city to relax their minds, and they are surprised because they had never seen Seiya hanging out. That afternoon, everyone goes to the meeting place to hang out together, but they wait for a long time without seeing Seiya. So they searched everywhere in the city. Because Restarte is so worried about Seiya, she immediately goes to the divine realm to ask the supreme god Ishtar to help her find Seiya. And Ishtar informs her that Seiya went to the Demon King's castle alone because he didn't want his friends in danger. Ishtar also says that after defeating the Dragon Queen, Seiya had reached his maximum level, so he learned god skills when he knew he couldn't get stronger anymore. Ariadoa says that she also summoned Seiya 100 years ago to save a B-class world. He had an extremely sloppy personality, not as careful as he is now. Seiya always charged straight at the enemy without any plan. Even though he himself was severely injured, he continued to fight the enemy. Seiya's girlfriend, as well as his companion, was Princess Tiana, and she always felt very uncomfortable with Seiya's unplanned fighting style. In the final battle with the Demon Lord, their party successfully defeated the Demon Lord, but they didn't expect that the Demon Lord to have 2 lives. So all the members of Seiya's party were swallowed. Princess Tiana, who was pregnant with Seiya's child, was also killed. After hearing that story, Restarte suddenly remembers that Tiana was her previous life. But after reincarnating as a goddess, all of her previous memories were erased. However, due to some coincidence, Restarte summoned Seiya to become a hero again. And even though Seiya's memories were erased, he still feels that he had failed once. So this time he is careful not to make the same mistakes as in the past. After understanding everything, Restarte decides to go to the Demon Lord's castle to help Seiya. Elulu and Mash also want to support him. Restarte opens a portal to take everyone inside the Demon Lord's castle. At this moment, Seiya and the Demon Lord are having a fierce battle. But Restarte panics when she sees Seiya preparing to use the Gate of Valhalla. The Demon Lord is quickly imprisoned by Seiya inside that gate, and after he is wounded by the thorns, the gate is slowly closed. However, the Demon Lord transforms into his true form and tries to escape from the gate. So Seiya continues to use his eternal sword to push him inside. Soon after, Seiya suffers side effects from using the Gate of Valhalla. Restarte regrets that she couldn't help Seiya in her previous life, so this time Restarte uses her full power to heal him. After a while of trying, Restarte successfully saves Seiya from death, and she hurriedly hugs Seiya. Thinking that everything is over, they discover that the Valhalla gate has not disappeared and that the Demon Lord has destroyed the gate and is slowly stepping out to attack everyone. So Seiya has to perform the Gate of Valhalla skill one more time. During the second cast, Seiya creates a gate much larger than the previous one, and it swallows the first gate with the Demon Lord into eternal nothingness. However, after using the second gate, Seiya's body is broken, and Restarte's magic can no longer heal him. Seiya tells Ilulu and Mash to protect the world on his behalf. At this moment, he also happily realizes that Restarte is the afterlife of Princess Tiana. Then he disappears, causing everyone grief. Thanks to Seiya's feat, the humans of this world were able to live in peace. And although Rosalie hates Seiya very much, she also expresses gratitude for his merits. Ilulu and Mash are appointed royal knights by Rosalie to protect the country. After returning to the divine realm, Restarte is summoned by the god Ishtar. This time, Ishtar wants Restarte to save the world, which Seiya has failed to do before, now that the world has become hell on earth, ruled by the Demon Lord. However, Ishtar states that she will let a special hero accompany Restarte, and Restarte is surprised to learn that the hero is Seiya. And that completes this anime summary. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And as usual, please subscribe and follow for more if you want to continue watching more anime summaries. See you guys next time.